First time we've had you back since the rebrand.
Love the rebrands.
We're talking Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. If it hadn't been delayed, we'd be playing it right now, drooling over ourselves and just trying to figure everything out, learn all the secrets, play all the characters. But before we get into the full details of the new Lego Star Wars game, what has been your history with Lego Star Wars games?
Welcome
to Uplink.
Yeah, well, I'm so glad you asked. I love Lego Star Wars. I love Lego in itself. Growing up, I played a lot of different Lego games, not just Star Wars. Lego Indiana Jones, I was a huge fan of. Harrison Ford, can't be mad. Loved
Such a good game.
Yeah, 100%. And that also, having seen the movies, it was a good time. Big Batman fan. I loved playing Lego Batman growing up. Lego Batman 2, which was like, I don't know when that one came out, but it was much newer. Mm-hmm. That one had all the DC superheroes from like Martian Manhunter, The Flash, Nightwing, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, you name it, Joker, all the characters. It was so much fun. And you not only had Gotham City, but you had Metropolis as well. That was probably one of the biggest maps I've ever played in like a Lego game. It was a good time. If you haven't tried that one, you guys got to try that one out. Lego Star Wars 3: The Clone Wars, hands down my favorite game. I'm sure that'll be trumped when Skywalker Saga comes out. But yeah, I've played Complete Saga, the first Lego Star Wars, second Lego Star Wars, the Force Awakens one, which I just played with Bombastic not too long ago. But Lego Star Wars 3: The Clone Wars, by far my favorite because the era that it's covering and it recreated the episodes really, really well. I don't know. Have you played it, Sage?
Yeah. So it got added to Game Pass at some point. Picked it up because we had that on the DS. So it wasn't the greatest experience playing through on that. So going back and actually legitimately playing it on console, it's such a good game. It like recreates the levels, like you said, so well. Mm-hmm. So when I was like wanted to talk about Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, I know who to call. I was like, I gotta have WoofWoofWolffe on the podcast to talk about this game. There's no way I can.
I appreciate it. I'm happy to be here and talk Lego Star Wars. Are you kidding? Yeah, I love this stuff.
Probably the thing. Obviously, we watched the original trilogy growing up. That was our first experience with Star Wars. Mm. And then we watched the prequels. And I think the thing alongside the Galaxy of Fear books, fantastic, some of the first books I read by myself, the thing that kept me going back to the Star Wars universe and like really got me invested into it was the Lego Star Wars games. Like that first one was so good with all the grunts and the secret levels, like fantastic. Going into the Lego Star Wars, the Complete Saga. Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah. I remember, I mean, you probably do too, but every time I think of the Skywalker Saga, I'm imagining that main menu cantina room.
Yeah.
Where you're just running around, fighting all the NPCs around you, and, just being a goof. That was a lot of fun. It's funny that you bring up how the Lego original trilogy and Lego Complete Saga games just added so much, at least like storyline or enjoyment value to yourself as a kid, right? In addition to watching the movies. Because I don't think there were a lot of like really, open world / level recreation playable Star Wars games at the time.
Yeah.
And Lego Star Wars was by far, one, a great job at recreating the scene and atmosphere. Two, hilarious. They were
so good.
So much fun. And three, like that, I think it's like, it's one of those couch games where you can play it with your brother or your sister or family member or friends, and it's not a Battlefront 2, right? Like it's you're not competing to the death, but you can enjoy.
You're gonna like murder each other because someone got your command post first.
Exactly. It's just a really like chill game, and when you die, what do you lose? A couple studs? Yeah, it's a good game. I like.
Do you remember in the first Lego Star Wars game the Ghost Yoda that you could play, and he'd jump on his little like rotating seat there, like from the prequels?
Yes. That was a great one. Yeah.
And we
God,
all
there
remember
were so many
the Yoda death sound too.
Oh.
Like,
yeah, it's playing in my head. I don't want to recreate it. Just don't want to put you through that. But yeah,
Yep.
it's playing in my head. Yeah, I love so many of the Easter eggs. That one on the first level, I think, where you go into that room and there's a bunch of like beach stormtroopers in a hot
Dude,
tub.
you can go back on the Battlefront podcast. We have had a consistent through line of wanting them to recreate that in Battlefront consistently. Like throughout the years, we have always wanted bikini stormtroopers to be added to Star Wars Battlefront.
We've had a couple mods, but I mean, it's just textures over the stormtrooper armor. Like we wanna see it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, bikini stormtroopers, beach stormtroopers, you name it. I think they teased some for the Skywalker Saga. I swear there were some beach related. Yeah, they have First Order beach troopers. I saw them in the trailer, one of the trailers or something. Gameplay reveals.
Yeah, so like the experience that you get from a Lego Star Wars games is like unprecedented, really, in the atmosphere. Like you're saying, one of my favorite things is how that they're actually adding a grunt only setting.
Oh, so if you don't want to hear dialogue, you can just do that.
Yes, and like I think that's the superior way to play through a Lego Star Wars game.
Oh yeah, I don't want to hear any words, not at all.
Yeah.
I just want to hear. Yeah, exactly. It's like Sims. You don't want to hear them talk. You know.
Yeah, it'd just be weird.
Yeah. When you make them do the freaky, you know, they just go like ahoy minoi mihoy. You know, you don't want to. But yeah, I mean, I like that they're adding dialogue though. It's cool. And for people who want to enjoy that, you know, they totally can. But now that I know that's an option, oh yeah, I'm gonna shut that off. I don't want to hear them talk.
Yeah, there's no way. Maybe I'll go back to see some comparisons, but first playthrough has to be without the dialogue. Like, there's no way.
That's the differentiating factor that it's going to be for people who are watching people play this game is, do you play it with grunts or do you play it with actual audio? Out of curiosity, though, I'm definitely going to go back and rewatch it all with audio just to see. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly what you said.
Definitely going to be playing through that game many, many times to get all the characters.
Oh, yeah. And unlock all the whatever mini kits to get the
mini kits,
special
the
items.
red bricks. Do they still do red bricks or gold bricks
they still
or whatever?
do red bricks.
Okay.
Red bricks, gold bricks, you name it. Yeah.
So going into the Skywalker Saga, what was your first reaction when it was shown? Because that was I think it was an Xbox. Yeah, one of the Xbox E3 events. So they
Remind me again what the which trailer this was. I don't remember what the first trailer was.
I think it was just the legit first teaser. It wasn't any like gameplay or anything like that. It was just like, this is happening after all of the rumors, finally confirmed.
Yes, I remember watching it for the first time. I think I might have watched it off of Star Wars Shriv on Instagram, who reposted it.
Okay.
But I remember watching, it's the one, I know what the one you're talking about. It starts with like a space battle and then it goes to like Maul versus Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon, and then it cuts to Kylo Ren, and then it goes to like Vader and Luke or something. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That was awesome. I was just like, wow, they are doing another massive Lego Star Wars game. And from the looks of it, it looks like it'll be open world and be huge. And including all eras, I was like, whoa, this is going to be the best Lego game of all time. I mean, they're hyping it up with this trailer, right? Like, my God, didn't they have like Darth Vader turn into like a snow Darth Vader that Kylo Ren was playing with before he fights Rey? Like, I was like, wow, that's so cool. And we've never seen anything past Force Awakens, which, by the way, I'm still surprised they made that its own game. But anything past Force Awakens,
I want to get into that a little bit later on in the episode. But yeah, that's something that I'm very interested to see why they did that, and like how that game is separated from the Skywalker Saga.
I'll talk a little bit about something later, but yeah, they have some really obscure characters in there. But yeah, anyway, so I was just like, wow, this is gonna be awesome. We're gonna have everything from episode 1 to episode 9, and potentially, right? And we saw this later on that they're gonna have like Rogue One a little bit.
Yes.
Looks like they're having DLC for the Mandalorian,
Yep.
for Solo. That's cool. That's so cool.
SKYWALKER Saga Plus is what it should be called.
Too many pluses. You got too many pluses. Disney Plus, SKYWALKER Saga Plus,
Uplink Plus.
Yeah, Uplink Plus. There you go. Don't douse your own your own brand over here. You have a good thing going.
It's appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
So what was I mean, one of the things that I'm most looking forward to is definitely how the scope of the game. One of my favorite parts, I was going through in preparation for this episode, going through rewatching all the trailers. I think it was the most recent trailer, the ones where they announced it was being delayed into spring 2021. Yeah. They actually showed some of the characters walking around Coruscant, and like if it was just like a Lego Coruscant game, I would have been like, take all of my money. I'm there. I don't care how much you charge for it. I will pay for that.
Oh, dude, same. Are you kidding me? Yeah. So in Star Wars: The Old Republic, right, the MMO game, mm-hmm. Like literally, I spend 90% of my time just walking around Coruscant. I like don't fly to other planets. I don't do other things. Like,
I mean, you could have taken away most of the DLC for Battlefront 2 and just given me Coruscant, and I would have been the happiest person in the world. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Me too. Yeah. Coruscant's. We've not gotten Coruscant in a game like this in a long time, right? Mm-hmm. I think Star Wars: The Old Republic is the only Coruscant I can think of that. And then there's like a couple mods for Battlefront 2 2005, but they're mods, so.
Exactly. Yeah, we haven't really seen it to the fidelity that we will in this game. Like,
yeah,
the most recent thing would probably be SWTOR, and that came out in 2011?
2011. Or the canceled Battlefront 3 game was supposed to have Coruscant land to space combat.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Oh my gosh.
With the Trade Federation frigates, the Venator Star Destroyers, and then I don't know if they had the Dreadnought too, but my God, that looks so cool.
Yeah, man, that would have been dream making.
We were literally gonna have sorry, I keep thinking of new things. We were gonna have Star Wars 1313 on Coruscant.
Yes, we were. Oh man,
literally the
underground. Remind me of that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't want to remind you of so many canceled games, but
I just gotten over that. Yeah, dude, I'm so pumped for this game. I'm super excited. I hope that it lives up to the hype.
Yeah, I think it will. Didn't we see that one trailer? It was like in a Lego commercial, but at the end they showed a little gameplay and like Anakin's fighting Grievous on the beach of Kashyyyk.
Yes.
I was like, that's cool. I mean, that's so sick.
Yeah, I'm so pumped for that. And going into that a little bit, so we had the delay. We were mere months away from playing this beloved game, realizing all of our Lego dreams. And it got delayed, which is understandable. It's gonna happen with a game this scope. I would have been surprised if it made its release date, just because of how big it is.
I'm glad they delayed it and didn't release a rush product. I mean, you and I do content creation. Like it's even hard to hit our deadlines, and these guys are creating like a game of this scale. Like, I mean, come on, like. Yeah, give them a break. Plus, with the whole COVID thing, like, they're gonna. It's hard to work out of office when you're doing a project of this scale, because
you have to relearn how to work with your team.
Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of things they need might be in office, right? Like they might need like certain machineware or like being next to someone they could ask a question versus having to like hop in a Zoom call or whatever. Not to mention, I don't know if this is true or not, but someone who's close to some of the developers had told me that one of the lead developers, I think back in the summer, his wife had gotten COVID. So he was often, making sure she was okay or visiting. And I mean, at the end of the day, like, like family first. So
yeah.
But I'm excited for the game. I think I'm actually even more excited now that they pushed it to this date, and it's a date where we can all look forward to.
Definitely. It would have been interesting to see 2 Star Wars games come out in one year, but it also is better that they're kind of spread out because now we have something else to look forward to in 2021. alongside
Yeah.
just 2020 not being a thing anymore, we also have a new Lego Star Wars game to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly. New Lego Star Wars game. We had the Clone Wars final season. We have Mandalorian 2. We had Squadrons. I think this year, even though it was, kind of disappeared on us, like it's still a great year. Dodgers just won. I know you probably don't care, but like, yeah, that's great. They haven't won since 1988.
Oh wow.
So, yeah, they've made it there many times. But yeah, now there were literally people here doing donuts in the streets and shooting fireworks at 4 a.m. It was kind of insane. But yeah. Enough about that shenanigans stuff. I'm so excited for this game. And 2021 will be fun. Hopefully, we'll be out of this by then. I think that'll be a good note.
Or it'll be a good shining light if it continues.
Yep, that too.
So going a little bit further, I have an idea of what era you're most excited for, but I'm still gonna ask, what era are you most excited for?
Probably like in the middle of Attack of the Clones. Do you know when they like only show the political scenes and there's like nothing else?
Yeah,
probably that.
Okay.
Just seeing people in the Senate room and just
robes.
No. I love you know me, Clone Wars guy, huge Clone Wars guy.
Can't get enough robes. I always say that.
No, not the political stuff, the action stuff. Yeah, I love the Jedi. I want to see a good array of Jedi. I want to see a good array of clone troopers. Though, to be honest, I'm keeping my hopes down about the clone stuff because they're doing all eras. So I don't think they're going to delve into that. Plus, there's a whole game dedicated to that already. I know in one of the reveal trailers or gameplay trailers too, we saw like Phase 1 clone troopers behind Grievous on the bow.
Everyone freaked out. They're like, okay, fine. We're sorry. We're gonna change.
Yeah. But the gameplay looks great. Yeah. Obviously, I'm most excited about probably the Revenge of the Sith content. But at the end of the day, like I think the coolest part about this game is the open world cross era. I mean, it looks like it's gonna be a lot of characters. In the trailer, we saw Anakin, like Attack of the Clones cloaked or something, like, so it's like that specific appearance, i.e. there's a lot of appearances. So yeah, also Anakin's a main character, so I'd hope he has a lot of appearances. But yeah, I'm just excited for the free roam, I think.
And they've announced officially that there will be at least 500 characters that you can unlock.
At least 500.
Yes.
And that's not counting duplicate skins. They have Yaddle. Why would they have such an obscure character as Yaddle?
I love it. It's fantastic.
Does that mean my God, we could get like Gonk troopers. That's true. They've done Gonk.
I mean, there has to be at least 3 different types of Gonk. Otherwise, I may kill all of my excitement for the game.
I'm scared of a franchise of this size. You know, like think about how many years in the developing, how much like content there is in movies, books, video games, comics, like you name it, right? There's just so many characters. I don't even want to know how many entries Wikipedia has.
Yeah, a huge, massive, like, it's crazy to think about. It'll be very interesting to see how all of it melts together. And I was looking up some of the other Star Wars games, and they usually hover around the 100 to 150 mark or so. That I was noticing. Lego Lord of the Rings has only 74 characters for comparison there. When you compare 500 to a game that I loved and like loved all the character choices for, which was 74, it's like, I don't know how is that going to work? So we teased it a little bit earlier in the episode, but let's go into kind of Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga versus the Force Awakens. We had that whole game, which I thought we would have gotten a Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens, a Lego Star Wars The Last Jedi, and Lego Star Wars Episode 9, but they decided to put all of their efforts into Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. What do you expect those differences to be going forward?
Yeah, great question. I really didn't like actually the way they ran Force Awakens, because Force Awakens is done in a way where you have a split screen moving like thing, kind of like what they did with the Clone Wars, which I also didn't like, where like the screen like turns sideways or rotates as you like play. And then Force Awakens has this thing where you need to answer holograms, and then like you have like quick time events. I think that's what they call them.
Yeah.
And then you have the option to like basically like, you know, like in third person shooters where you hide behind a barricade and you shoot. They have that in that game, and it's really weird. It's like very unusual.
Cover based.
It feels less of a Lego game. Yeah, it feels less of a Lego game and more of like a third person like rail game. Like you have to move in the storyline in a certain way. And that's also only from playing a little bit of it. They have a little bit of free roam, and they have the characters can talk. So it looks like a lot of that is feeding into the way Lego Skywalker Saga is going to be built. But I hope that there was enough feedback from that, because I know I'm not the only one who feels this way, that they might reconsider the way they did some of that, some of those changes. I thought the characters were great. They included a lot of, you know, random characters I didn't even remember from the movie. But to be fair, they're making an entire game based off of one movie, right? So
yeah.
But the graphics are amazing to look at. Even looking at the Lego Skywalker trailer, Skywalker Saga trailer, it looks great. Yeah, Force Awakens, I did like their DLC packs. They had a Clone Wars DLC pack with Savage Opress, Cad Bane, Darth Maul, a bunch of cool characters. Then they also had one for a couple other eras and sections. I can't remember, but yeah, it'll be good. I'd love to see Rebels. Oh my god, if we got like Kanan and like
that would be fantastic.
Zeb and Sabine. Are you kidding? That'd be great.
I'm glad you brought up that point. Going into a little bit of our concerns about the game. I love the scope of the game. I loved all the trailers for it. But something that I'm very curious to find out is the gameplay, because it looks so massive and so varying. Because we have, I think that's something that Battlefront 2 suffered from, is the scope of the game and trying to be too many things at once. And I think there could be a level of that in this game. Be like just looking at the space combat, that looks just like Starfighter Assault. Like it's crazy to see how detailed these different gameplay aspects are. And that's definitely one of the reasons I would assume that they decided to delay the game to give them more time.
Yeah. I wouldn't be mad if they made it like Starfighter Assault. I think that would actually be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Just because like what the other Lego, I'm thinking of Lego Complete Saga, where you were flying as Luke Skywalker on Hoth, you know, in the snowspeeder, or you're flying on the Death Star, and it's just you're moving forward the whole time. And then in Lego Star Wars The Clone Wars, like that gunship mission, you just kind of like fly like that, but on instead of 2D, it's 3D. So you go up and down, left and right, and it's kind of the same thing. You get those purple orbs behind you. I'd love it to be like 360, like that'd be cool.
Yeah, you can
that'd be so
decide
cool.
where you want to go, and
where you're not watching it from like the side of the ship, but where you're actually following the ship from, you know, like behind. And
bringing up those points that you made about the definitely departures that they made to the Lego formula with The Force Awakens, with the cover-based combat. The one thing I did like is how you can use the same kind of parts and construct them into different...
Yes, that was cool. I like that. I forgot about that feature. Thank you for bringing that up. That was really neat.
Yeah, so I really like those additions, but there were some things that I was like, okay, how's this working? What's it going to be like? And that's definitely something that I'm interested in seeing when the game launches and we can get our hands on it and figure out what's going on. Something I also wanted to touch on is the scope of the Skywalker Saga versus The Force Awakens, and how like it's like, I'm going to make another Lord of the Rings reference here. So this is, welcome to the Lord of the Rings podcast. But like it's like taking The Hobbit and stretching it into 3 movies. Like, who would do that? But yeah, you have like a smaller experience with just one game or one movie that you stretch into a whole game, and that's not really something that they've done a whole lot with the Star Wars Lego games. It's usually like a bunch of movies combined into a game, or a bunch of episodes combined into a game. That was one of the first, like, we're taking this one movie and making an entire game off of it.
Yeah. To put it bluntly, it's like milking content, right? Like in the comparison that is understandable for me, it's when a YouTuber, puts in all this work and effort and compiles a ton of videos and content and information and puts it into a concise video for the audience to consume, having done all the work of filtering that. Then you have either the same YouTuber or another YouTuber make a video, just like prolonging the little bit of information that they had you click the video on to learn about.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what The Force Awakens felt like. So yeah, I'm excited for Skywalker Saga because it hopefully is the latter, the former, and Force Awakens is definitely the latter.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel that they'll separate the two? Gonna do a multi-leveled question here. First off, how do you expect them to separate the Force Awakens aspects of the Skywalker Saga from the Force Awakens game?
They've done this before, and they're gonna have to do this again because one, they made the original trilogy, for example. Then they made the complete saga, which I don't know if they really revamped it that much, but now they're doing the Lego Skywalker Saga, so they have to do that again. I think updating graphics is one, and updating models, but for The Force Awakens is going to be the hardest for them because they just did that game. I think what they're going to do is just shrink the size of the maps, maybe even rearrange things just to make it look different. And then, are they revamping the cutscenes? I feel like that's a lot of unnecessary work considering they did all that already.
Mm-hmm. That leads perfectly into the second part of my question. We've got the complete saga, which is no longer the complete saga. Going into that, how did they separate the stuff that they did previously, which is a standalone game? You can go back and enjoy it just as much as you could when it came out. How do you expect them to switch things up for the Skywalker Saga? Because they're going to definitely hit on those key moments. And I think one of the main draws will be that, like you said, the graphical change is one thing that they can do that's like, yeah, this is the same thing but for a new era with a couple more spins on it. Yeah,
you're asking great questions. I'll be honest, I would not be surprised if they delayed the game again now that you bring that up. I don't think they're reusing the cinematics though, because I remember watching in the trailer that Vader and Palpatine scene was completely different from the one we saw in The Force Awakens.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm glad. Also because I think, we're going to all be expecting a new game, and I think people would be outraged if it was a rerun, right? Especially with a game like this, with this much hype. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be getting it, so, and I don't think Lego's going to be cheap with that either, and they have not been in the past.
Yeah.
But honestly, mad respect to their creative team if they can come up with something that feels fresh and is different.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. It's going to be super fun to see the future. I wonder, is this going to be the end of Lego Star Wars games? Is this going to be it?
Well, let me ask you a question. Is this going to be the end of Star Wars content or Star Wars movies? Or Star Wars TV shows?
No, not at all.
All right, that's the answer to your question.
Yeah. So do you see, could you expect them? Because we're definitely we're getting aspects of Mandalorian content in this game. Could you see them being like, oh yeah, this is going to be a live service game? I think that would be pretty unprecedented. But with the way games are made now, it wouldn't be completely off the table.
I think if there's no movies coming out for a long period of time, I think that it makes sense for them to do, another series. That's what they did with the Lego Star Wars, The Clone Wars. They covered 2 seasons of The Clone Wars because there were no movies, coming out in the foreseeable future, or had been. And they made work with it. They could do 2 seasons of The Mandalorian. They could do seasons of, probably wouldn't do Resistance. They could do, probably The Mandalorian is their biggest, most watched series right now.
Mm-hmm.
Not surprising with Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and a bunch of creative geniuses at the helm. But I would actually not. I don't think people would be upset if they came out with the Lego Mandalorian. I don't think anyone's gonna be like, they're milking this. I think people would be like, oh yeah, I want to fly the Razor Crest. I want to carry Lego Baby Yoda.
Yeah, I definitely would not be complaining if they did make it a live service game. And it'd be really cool to see going forward because, like,
oh yeah,
there's no foreseeable end for Star Wars anytime soon.
no, and I for that reason, I think it's a good series to invest all your time into.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I don't know if many people have said this, but that Star Wars thing, I think it's got legs.
You think? Maybe I should look into that a little bit more.
Yeah,
we'll watch its career with great interest.
Yes.
And you, young Skywalker, we will watch your career with great interest.
It's a great time to be a Star Wars fan.
I think it is. I think I'm glad I'm born now because I can both enjoy the 1977 film and not feel like, oh, it doesn't have VR or holograms or whatever. Well, it does have holograms. Whatever. You get the point.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can experience Squadrons where I'm flying an X-Wing or TIE Fighter. Like, whoa, haha, suck on this, Dad. You didn't get this.
Dude, Squadrons is bae. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I have been loving my time prepping for the Creator Clash. Getting better.
Dude, I don't think I'm going to make it past As a True, but if I see you later on down the line, good luck to you and your team.
You as well. As long as I can beat Mark split screen, I will be happy.
Oh my god.
And hopefully
is split screen, do you think split screen's got the helm over? Was it Hello Greedo is he playing or Star Wars Explained?
He's playing Hello Greedo.
Hello Greedo. Yeah, I'd probably bet on split screen as well.
Yeah, I think he's going to rock it out.
I feel like Sammy Boy's going to beat Zanny.
I think so too.
Yeah, Zanny's having problems. He's been complaining about the console errors he's been having with his squad. Yeah, you and I both know how that was with Bombastic. There were some problems.
It's matchmaking with EA games has been
quality
with quotation marks since 2015.
Who? Yeah. Oh yeah. Who's Bomb playing the first round?
That would be Arcross. Yeah. He's playing Arc.
Dude, playing people who are running the tourney, man. Oof.
I do have some little inside information here. Arc has only just recently started playing, so.
Oh, okay. So he's gonna be fine then. Yeah. I would love to see one of us go against Bomb. Everyone in the comment section were like, Bomb Squad for life. Yeah. And I was thinking, I was looking at you and I was being like, for life? I mean, we've got another tournament after this, but we're not on the same team.
Yeah. I was telling Ark and Sammy that they should just rename the Creator Clash to Bomb Squadron Civil War.
Oh, yeah. They should.
I really hope that all the developers watching both Operation Ace and the amazing production there and the Creator Clash and future esports with Squadrons events. I hope they see that and be like, this has potential, and if we add this one thing, we can bring it even further. Let's hope.
I hope so too. Because that would make the game so much better.
Because there's been so many hurdles that the team over at Star Wars Legions have had to try to overcome that I just really hope that works out. Well, sweet man, thank you once again for hopping on the podcast. It's such a blast having you every time.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm always excited when I get your message that you'd love to have me on the podcast. I'm an avid fan. I love listening to you. One, what you talk about. Two, your voice. Rich dark chocolate voice. So good. But yeah, thank you again for having me on. And what a great topic. I'd love to reconvene once the game gets more news or when it comes out.
Definitely. We have to have you on the podcast again. There's no way that you can escape the grasp of the Uplink podcast.
Hey, good luck to the Uplink podcast squad. What do you guys call yourself?
Uplink Squadron.
All right. Good luck to the Uplink Squadron. We'll see you guys out there.
And to you as well. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Uplink podcast. Links to Wolf's channel will be in the description, so definitely go check out his stuff. Makes some great content over there. If you'd like to support our show completely free, a great way is to share it with your friends or also leaving a review on iTunes or Apple Podcasts. Basically, anywhere you can leave a review, it's super, super helpful. Another way you can support the show is through Patreon, patreon.com/uplinkpodcast. There you will find exclusive bonuses for each tier, as well as at the $5 a month level, access to the exclusive podcast Uplink Plus on there, where it's the show before the show, and we talk about what the guests are up to and what we're up to in our daily lives and what we've been enjoying for entertainment. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, definitely come check us out and support us on Patreon. We stream every Saturday on YouTube, youtube.com/the Star Wars Battlefront podcast. Usually it's around 1 p.m. MST, and it's always a great time. One of the highlights of my week, so you should definitely come check us out there. We've recently hit 1,000 subscribers, and we'll be doing a giveaway shortly. So definitely come support the show and leave a subscribe if you're interested. You can listen to the show on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Wherever you find podcasts, you can find this show. As always, thanks for listening, and may the Force be with you.